Hey there, hi there, ho there, it's Wispapedia. Last week I released a video about new Western monsters I hope will be in Sunbreak. I really enjoy the speculation that comes along leading up to a new Monster Hunter release, so I figured I'd do another video this week about monsters I hope will return to Rise. But there's also a catch here. I'm going to include the Western monsters I think they might represent, since it does seem like Sunbreak's monsters will follow a quote-unquote Western monster theme. Remember, mythical creatures, cryptids, and urban legends could all be potentially fair game. This list was fun to put together, and most of the entries fit really well, but I did take some artistic liberties with a couple of them. And hey, if you're new here and want to know more about Sunbreak, consider subscribing here. I'm going to be talking about this every once in a while until the game launches. Alright, let's get going. Number 1. Adogaran as a Hellhound. A Hellhound is a mythological hound which embodies a guardian or servant of Hell, the Devil, or the Underworld. Think Cerberus or Garm. There are a number of different references to hellhounds across different mythologies. In many beliefs, these creatures are said to guard the underworld, and some even serve under the devil himself. It's easy to see how Adogaran fits this description, even further so, Ebony Adogaran. I think Adogaran is a shoo-in, especially after the reveal of Lunagaron, but beyond that, it's one of my favorite monsters from World, and it has really cool weapons and armor. I'd love to see the Master Rank armor from World make a return, as I think the pieces in the set would look great in Rise, and they certainly kind of fit the aesthetic of the game. And think of the Palamute armor. The weapons are also pretty good, but it would be kinda nice to see those improve for Sunbreak. Number 2. Rattabon as a skeleton. Alright, wait, I hear you. Admittedly, Rattabon is far from my favorite large monster. I don't really like fighting the big roly-polies. The monsters with this skeleton always make me at least a little heated. Aragon, Rattabon, etc. They always just seem like they have some way of interrupting all of your attacks and deflecting and everything, but it would make sense for there to be an animated skeleton type monster. Animated skeletons come from a number of different cultures, whether they're animated by a spell or even given a new life after the body's death. Skeletons have been in pretty much like every RPG ever, and Rattabon is basically creating its own animated skeleton armor throughout the entire fight. It also has some pretty cool looking armor, honestly. Plus, it'd be great to see our Palicos rolling around in the spaceball thing. And if the Palamutes were given a spacesuit of some kind, I could do a Cosmo the Wonder Dog cosplay. So, yeah. Number 3. Lagiacrus as now wait for this one. Nessie. Look, everyone wants this thing back. If you aren't in this crowd, I'm sorry. But it would be really rad to have our favorite Leviathan back. And this Western monster that would fit this is a no-brainer. The Loch Ness monster is one of the most well-known urban legends out there. Fuzzy pictures, sightings in newspapers, all of the usual stuff. The Loch Ness monster, or Nessie, is a creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as large, long-necked, and with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and belief in the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. It would be an amazing tie-in, to be perfectly honest. And it's a safe bet that Laggy is coming back. Capcom knows the fan demand for him. And honestly, I think they'd be kinda crazy not to include this guy in Sunbreak. It's a fun fight, avoiding all the lightning and junk to fight him and everything. I'd also love to see more Leviathans in Sunbreak anyway. All told, Laggy's a great monster with a fun fight and really cool weapons and armor. Getting it back would be really great for Sunbreak. Number 4. Malfestio as a Strix. According to Wikipedia, the Strix, plural strigas or strixes in the mythology of classical antiquity, was a bird of ill omen, the product of metamorphosis that fed on human flesh and blood. It also referred to witches and related to malevolent folkloric beings. The Strix is described as a large-headed bird with transfixed eyes, rapacious beak, grayish-white wings, and hooked claws in Ovid's Fasti. This is the only thorough description of the Strix in classical literature. Elsewhere, it is described as being dark-colored. This description fits Malfestio perfectly, and I have a few reasons I want Malfestio back. First, it hasn't been in a Monster Hunter game since Monster Hunter Generations, and as such, hasn't been in a mainline game. It also uses a number of status ailments like sleep and confusion, which we haven't actually seen in the game since Generations. It'd be fun for some newer folks to fight against. It also has some pretty good armor. The Palico stuff is pretty good too, so yeah. Also, more sleep weapons are never a bad addition. They're also very cool looking, so I definitely wouldn't mind having the chance to get those in Sunbreak. Number 5. Seragios as Jack the Ripper. Okay, this bears explaining, I understand. Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer active in the largely impoverished areas in and around the Whitechapel district of London in 1888. In both the criminal case files and contemporary journalistic accounts, the killer was called the Whitechapel Murderer and Leather Apron. In my opinion, it is sort of odd that we have glorified such a dark and grisly story, but this urban legend has surpassed that status and become a creature or story that will likely become a myth in its own right. So how does Saragios work here? If you've fought this monster, you know what it does. All of its scales are knives, shoots them out at you throughout the fight. It's a perfect fit for Jack the Ripper. I mean, it could bring back bleed damage, which could change the game considerably, and could also mean that Master Rank Nargacuga could inflict bleed as well. That could be a really good change, and could help make the Nargacuga fight a bit more exciting. But Saragios looks so awesome, and has a very fun fight. I'm sure it would be even better in Rise. Beyond that, it has some great looking armor and weapons, and I definitely want to be able to get those again as well. I'm really hoping we get a few of these monsters back. I love all these fights, and I really hope we get a chance to play them in the updated style in Rise. The fights for returning monsters in base Rise were so well done, and I'm hoping that the reprised fights would also be great for these ones. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My name's Wispapedia, you can call me Wisp. Tell me in the comments what kind of monsters you're hoping to see in Sunbreak and do the usual YouTube things, like and sub. If you're looking for folks to play Monster Hunter with, check out the Dojo Clan Discord. We have an LFG channel and a healthy community that plays a bunch of different games. A link for that Discord is provided below. I love it here, and I think that you will too. Catch me streaming on Twitch, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Hey folks, make sure you drink your water, get some good sleep, and do something nice for yourself. And I'll catch you next time.